With the development of modern technology, the products of 20th century weapons industry have also changed, and defense industry systems in the air, on land, and the sea have begun to take shape according to the needs of 21st century. In the 20th century, in the United States, health defense technologies almost exclusively in its hands and shared this technology. Only to text extent it desired the first with Israel and later with European states. For a time, the West's superiority in the defense technology provided them with an extraordinary levels of prosperity and comfort. However, like a good things, this pleasant dream eventually came to an end. The most obvious indicator of the West technology superiority was its fighter jets. In the recent past, the F-22 Raptor, and on top of that, the 5th generation F-35 fighter jet gave the West air superiority of a certain period. Nevertheless, countries such as China, Russia, and Turkey have already unveiled their own 5th generation aircraft. In response, Donald Trump, the 47th President of the United States, introduced the F-47 6th generation fighter jet program. The appearance of this aircraft, with its tailless design and nose resembling a pelican's beak, truly looks like something out of a science fiction movie, almost like an alien spacecraft. The American president introduced it as the most advanced fighter jet in the world, and the announcement was broadcast simultaneously across the globe. Boeing was selected as the prime contractor for the 6th generation fighter jet, and it was decided that the aircraft would be built in a hangar in Nevada. Almost everything about this aircraft is classified, and there is a widespread speculation that its exact location is unknown, and that even the released photographs does not truly belong to the actual aircraft. However, this machine is expected to replace Americans' predatory bird, the F-22 Raptor, and the United States has effectively tied its future air superiority to this aircraft in the near term. 1. Swarm semi-autonomous system. Although many reports about this aircraft have appeared in media outlets around the world, the matter is extremely serious for the United States, which has effectively pinned all its weapons for air superiority on this platform. It's being developed as the central component of the Next Generation Air Dominance (NGAD) program. This fighter jet is essentially designed to replace the F-22 Raptor. The missions of the F-22 Raptor was to penetrate enemy airspace, establish its superiority, and when necessary, prevail in dogfight while imposing overwhelming dominance. However, this is not exactly the concept envisioned for the F-47. The F-47 is not designed or planned to operate in the same way, as it has been conceived as an aircraft meant to fight as part of SWAT. This system is being designed as a semi-autonomous platform, or if desired, a fully autonomous machine operating with artificial intelligence. However, the pioneering idea behind this concept does not belong to United States. The concept of conducting swarm-based operating with the main combat aircraft accompanied by unmanned combat aircraft first emerged in Turkey. Perhaps unexpectedly for many through Baykar, a company that has a giant significant attention in recent years for its work in the defense industry. The most advanced example of its swarm system belongs to this Turkish company, and the unmanned combat aircraft is called Kızıl Elma. This aircraft is expected to enter mass production 2026. Equipped with artificial intelligence, more than 100 onboard computers, and highly advanced radar systems, Kızıl Elma can operate either alongside a main combat aircraft or independently. It is currently recognized as the first unmanned combat aircraft to destroy enemy targets using air-to-air missiles while operating in an autonomous or semi-autonomous manner. Although still under development, Kızıl Elma, powered by 100 computers and artificial intelligence, has made a significant global impact and has played a pioneering role in shaping new combat doctrines. However, this missing element here is a sixth-generation fighter jet. It's widely known that Turkey's fifth-generation fighter, Kaan, which has already been announced, is not yet fully operational, with particular shortcomings remaining in the engine development phase. 2. Why F-47? Before discussing the features of American's sixth-generation fighter jet, the F-47, it is important to first address why it carries its particular design. According to information from American media source, one reason is that the name F-47 is inspired by the legendary P-47 Thunderbolt fighter jet aircraft used during the World War II. However, there is another reason, one that in my view makes even more sense. This alternative explanation is linked to Donald Trump, the 47th President of the United States. It's widely known that Trump has sought to source a place for himself in history and has pursued various initiatives, some controversial, some unconventional, and that at times even symbolic, to achieve this. It is therefore highly plausible that the aircraft was named F-47 because Trump is the 47th USA president. and that he personally wanted the aircraft to carry this designation. In the line with this thinking, one of the clauses in the agreement signed with Boeing reportedly requires that the development of the aircraft be completed before the end of Trump's term. That's by 2028. This leads to the question, why is there a need for such an aircraft in the first place? The answer lies primarily in countries such as China and Russia, which possess advanced hypersonic ballistic missiles and are already operating or developing sixth-generation fighter aircraft. For a globally assertive power like the United States, this situation is far from desirable. Yet one might ask, if the USA already has satellite aircraft such as the F-22 Raptor and the F-35, why is the sixth-generation fighter still necessary? The answer is fundamentally about range and the changing nature of aerial warfare. In the new global order, the combat doctrine and the operational concept surrounding the fighter aircraft are evolving, making next-generation platforms not just an advance but a necessary. 3. Range. To understand why the Pentagon is pushing the budget so aggressively for a sixth-generation fighter jet, we must first talk about the F-22 Raptor and the F-35. These aircraft developed before and after the year 2000 were truly formidable deterrents for their time. The maneuverability, speed, and satellite capabilities, particularly their ability to remain undetected by radar, were highly impressive. However, this effectiveness was largely suited to conflicts near Europe or within a region close to the United States itself. In the new area, the situation is very different, especially when it comes to China, which has effectively become the world's manufacturing hub and economic engine. A potential conflict in the Pacific presents enormous challenges. The foremost of which is range. The F-22 has a combat range is approximately 590 nautical miles, while the F-35 performance slightly better at around 670 nautical miles. These figures are not insignificant, but when considered in the context of the vast Pacific they become largely unacceptable. Attempting to extend this range using aerial refueling tankers in a wartime scenario would be nearly suicidal. Due to their massive size, relatively slow speeds and large fuel signatures, tanker aircraft would be easy targets for China's advanced radar and missile systems. Once these tankers are destroyed, the F-22s would effectively be stranded almost as if committing suicide in the middle of the ocean. Moreover, in the event of a conflict with China, it is not difficult to assume that USA bases in the Pacific, such as Guam or Okinawa, would also be targeted. This is precisely where the sixth-generation fighter jet, the F-47, comes into play. The project range of the F-47 is estimated to be between 1,000 and 1,850 nautical miles. This means the aircraft could conduct missions deep into the Pacific, strike designed the targets, and return to base without the need for aerial refueling. Even this may not be sufficient, however, given that China already operates large numbers of G-20 satellite fighters and is currently flight testing its own tireless sixth-generation satellite aircraft known as the G-36 and G-50. Developments closely followed by the global media. Combined with China's advanced radar technology, this factor has significantly increased Western expectation for the F-47, leading the United States to invest enormous financial and technological resources into the system. That said, the F-47 is not designed for traditional dogfight, nor is it intended to operate alone. Instead, it functions as a central command and control platform, coordinating and directed semi-autonomous or fully autonomous company aircraft. In high-risk missions, the F-47 can dispatch these autonomous platforms to perform dangerous tasks, all under the command of the pilot on board the F-47. Depending on mission requirements, these semi-autonomous aircraft can be used defensively or offensively, employing flexible and adaptive combat tactics. Additionally, autonomous and semi-autonomous aircraft can perform maneuvers that would be extremely dangerous or even impossible for human pilots due to the high G-force. Under the command of the F-47 pilot, such aircraft can execute these risky flying profiles. In this domain, Turkey currently holds a leading position with its Kızıl Elma unmanned combat aircraft, which has already begun testing these combat scenarios. Footage showing Kızıl Elma successfully engaging and destroying an enemy aircraft with an air-to-air missiles has already been broadcast in international media. 4. Boeing. The F-47 fighter jet, capable of extremely long-range, swarm-based combat operations, sustaining very high speeds and remaining almost completely invisible even to radar systems, appears nearly impossible to defeat with current technology. It is designed to carry long-range air-to-air missiles as well as light nuclear payloads. However, like all advanced and valuable systems, this aircraft comes at an extraordinary cost. Even for the United States, which possesses one of the largest economies in the world. The F-47 is exceptionally expensive. The current estimated unit cost approximately $300 million per aircraft. Although the competition for this program took place between Boeing and the Lockheed Martin, this contract was ultimately awarded to Boeing. This decision came despite Boeing being approached constantly due to recent financial difficulties, issues in the training and tanker aircraft programs, technical failures, prolonged delivery timelines, and the missed delivery deadlines. On the other hand, Lockheed Martin, the manufacturer of the F-35, has faced the growing criticism due to restrictive secrecy clauses embedded in its contracts. Under these agreements, every new software update, hardware upgrade, or undisclosed system manufacturer requires the additional payments, even when changes are not fully shared with this USA Department of Defense. Over time, this has effectively turned the F-35 into an aircraft that must be purchased twice. This condition additional costs, placing significant strain on the USA defense budget. As a result, the Department of Defense opted not to proceed with Lockheed Martin and instead reached an agreement with Boeing under terms that allow software to be shared with the Pentagon. This agreement enabled the USA to transfer existing technologies to other aircraft platforms if desired. Moreover, for the F-47, the USA will not be required to pay additional fees for software updates or hardware upgrades, provided that they are not excessively extensive or extraordinary. Despite these terms, the aircraft remains extremely costly. Rather than producing a large fleet, the plan is to manufacture 187 units, the same number as the F-22 Raptors. Even this limited quantity represented tens of billions of dollars in expenditure. Notable, this pricing does not include the unmanned semi-autonomous combat jets that are planned to operate alongside the F-47. Furthermore, this figure does not account for potential cost overruns during development. Contract clauses already stipulate that if the production quantity is reduced, the per unit cost will rise to even more astronomical levels. This is also the issue of the Boeing recent track record. The company's increasing number of aircraft malfunctions and exceeded in recent years, combined with its history of delayed deliveries, is already a frequent topic in American media. The sixth generation fighter and its swarm of semi-autonomous companion aircraft are scheduled to enter active service with its USA Air Force by 2029, a timeline that will undoubtedly require an extraordinary level of effort and precaution. Whether Boeing can successfully deliver this program remains unclear. Yet the stakes are extremely high for the United States, as rival nations have already begun test flights of their own sixth-generation fighter jets. The operational viability of this technology will undoubtedly shape the future of global geopolitics. Thank you for listening. See you next video where we'll explore even more incredible designs.